Okay, so now for our mean and standard deviation example, I have the formula here for us. So one more time, we're going to be taking the distances from our mean. That's our mean. When we do distance, we always subtract it. So that's showing how far away we are from our mean. We're going to square those values because we have to make them positive. But then in the end, we will end up square rooting. We are going to divide. After we do that, we're going to divide by the number of terms minus 1. Remember, that's to account for some error. And then at the very end, I kind of left it out here on purpose for you guys to see. We'll take the square root to basically undo this square. So I am going to show that process right now. If I have these values right here, so these are the kids that are in my distance learning class that I'm tutoring. Let's say I'm doing a tutoring class and I have them ranging from 5 to 11 years old. I want to know what the average age is. I've already calculated the mean, so you guys can see I've added 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 11. I've divided by 5, and I have 8 as my mean. So now I want to calculate, well, how much standard deviation? What is the standard deviation of this class? So we're going to go through and do that process now. So for the standard deviation, I'm going to do the square root at the end. So I'm going to leave it out for now just because it overwhelms me and I don't know how long it's going to run. So I will, at the end, square root this value. But I'm finding, on average, how far does every value deviate from 8? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find out 5. I'll start with 5. How far away is 5? Well, 5 minus 8 is 3, and then I'm going to square that number. I'll come back and do that math in a second. Plus, because we're adding them all up, that's what that value means right there. It's a summation. How far away is this one now? 7 minus 8, and then I will be squaring that distance, which is 1. We're going to square that as well in just a minute. Plus, I need to find out how far this one is. We find out each one. 8 minus 8, guess what? That's going to be 0. There's no deviation from my mean, right? Because my mean is 8. Plus 9 minus 8, and I'm going to square that. And last but not least, I have 11. 11 minus 8, and I square that. So I've taken the mean and subtracted it from each one of my values. I'm also going to divide by the number of terms minus 1. So there were 5 terms here. So I'm going to do 5 minus 1, and at the end, I'll square root. I want to simplify all of this before, so that I'm going to kind of break it down. So if I'm doing this by hand, I would actually do 5 minus 3. 5 minus 8 is negative 3, and when I square a negative 3, it becomes a positive 9. This is where I was talking about that positive distance is created. Plus, this is only 1 away. Negative 1 squared is going to be 1 plus 1. Plus, this will end up being 0. 8 minus 8 squared. 9 minus 8 is going to be 1. Squared is 1. And 11 minus 8 is 3, but then I square that to get 9. And I'm going to divide by 4 and take the square root. Okay. So this next part, I'm going to grab a calculator in a second, but I have 9, 10, 11, plus 9 more is going to be 20 divided by 4. So I have the square root of 20 divided by 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5, so we have the square root of 5. If it was the square root of 4, it would be 2. So this is slightly more than 2. Let's see. I'm going to guess like 2.1, 2.2. So I have the square root of 5 is about 2.2. 2.2. I'm going to always round to 2 decimals in here. You'll see that. That's kind of my standard. So I have 2.24 is the standard deviation for this set. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually share my screen. And I will always double check my calculations in my applet that I have for you guys. That's funny, I'm uploading one of your other videos. But in here, let's see, I'm going to get into your actual program here. I'm going to go home, show you guys how I navigate. The same way you should be navigating to here. Module 1, I have that applet on every lesson, but we're working on lesson 5 today. So I'm going to get into here. I'm going to go to the applet. This is going to be an applet that, again, you should have bookmarked. I'm going to go to one quantitative variable, and I'm going to put in the data that we have here to double check my work. I have 5, 7, 8, 9, and 11. I'm going to hit begin analysis, and you'll notice down here, I have mean and standard deviation. And that is exactly the value that we got, 8 and 2.24. 2.24.